Welcome to part 11 of the Today Focused Living series. My name is Aliki, and in these short videos I share with you simple things which I do, which you can do to transform your daily life. These are simple, holistic practices that take care of your entire being, physical, psychological, and spiritual. And this is what we need, right? This is what we need to go through life in a wise way and to be well. Number 21 is use what you have. Now, there's a couple of ways of interpreting what this means. Firstly, using what you have can mean use what you have now rather than going out and buying new stuff all the time. We really don't need as much stuff as they tell us we do. We really don't. So when you need something, before you jump onto Amazon and buy with one click, see if you might have something kicking around in your garage or somewhere in your home that perhaps you haven't been using that you could use instead. The other way of understanding use what you have is to actually look at what you already have and start using it, because let's face it, most of us in the Western world have a lot of stuff that we own that we don't actually use, and it's collecting dust, cluttering our home, and if we're not using it, why do we have it? So let's consider some belongings that we may have in our homes that we're not using. What about books? How many books do you have, and how many of those books have you never read or looked through? Or how many of them have you read but you'd like to read again because they're so good? How many items of clothing or footwear or accessories do you have that you haven't used or that you haven't worn in years? Why do we keep these things? Now, we've already talked about decluttering and simplifying and how well they go hand in hand. But what about actually using them, right? If you don't want to get rid of them, then why not use them? One thing which I've done, which I found very helpful, is to take something that I haven't been using that I want to use. For example, a keyboard that we have that was just collecting dust. So I've now set up a place where it can be used with a chair and the music, and now it's just inviting me to go and sit there and play something. So I'm actually using it now. What about CDs? Are you using all your CDs? Do you like and appreciate most of them even? So lately I decided to go through all our CDs and to listen to each one and actually use them and decide which ones I want to keep and which ones I don't enjoy anymore. It's a good feeling to use what you own, you know, to own things that actually have a purpose. What about stationery supplies or cookbooks? What about kitchen appliances and utensils? What about games? We have a lot of games, a lot of board games, a lot of card games. As the children have grown older, we seem to be using them less and less. I'm always whittling them down because I want to enjoy and use what I own. So if you have some games lying around, why don't you just pull one out, put it on your coffee table, and just plan to play that game, use that game. find someone to play it with and enjoy it, you know? We have some awesome games. I love Boggle. Sometimes I'll have just maybe 10-15 minutes before going to work in the morning, and I'll play a game of Boggle with my son. It's just fun, you know? But I wouldn't do it if it wasn't right here underneath my coffee table. What about art and craft supplies? I know you've got something kicking around somewhere. Be honest. Old wool, maybe, or some old paints lying around. You might need to get a new paintbrush or two, but use what you have. Stop putting things off, because we don't know how much time we actually have. What we do know is that we've got today, so let's make the most of it. Pick up something you haven't used in a while, maybe a very long time or ever, and start using it. Now, while you're pulling these things out from the cupboards and under the bed and all these places where they're hanging out, and you start using them, you're going to discover something. Either you really enjoy using that thing and you keep on using it, or you realize actually you don't want that thing anymore, or you don't enjoy using it. So then you can say goodbye to that thing and give it away or sell it to someone who does want to use it. It's a very simple thing, really, isn't it? Use what you have. But it can really make a difference because it changes your relationship with your belongings. I think it makes you more mindful of what you own. And when you actually use them, you start to appreciate things more. And that usually results in not having to get so many other things. So remember, today, find something that you haven't used and use it. Let me know how you get on down in the comments. I'd love to know. Number 22 is visit. Visit people and visit places. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to make some grand, expensive travel plans. No, this could be something quite simple. It might be a place in your local area that you like to visit. You know, I have a lovely little wooded area, an arboretum very close to where I live, and I love going for walks there. I love visiting there. I work in the middle of town, and I find that there are so many places that I'm always discovering that I've never been to, all right there in the center of town. When I have some spare time, I love to just go for a wander and visit some new places. What about some kind of old building like a church or a castle? What about visiting an older relative? What about visiting someone who maybe is feeling lonely and doesn't get a lot of visitors and would really appreciate a little visit from you? This is a very simple point. We don't need to overthink it or overcomplicate it. You could just look through your address book or your phone book. If you have a phone book, you could look through the contacts on your phone. What about Facebook friends or people you know on social media who, you know, I've been friends with people for absolutely years on social media, and it's such a joy to visit them when I get the opportunity. The point is to get out and about. Perhaps some of us need to get out and about a bit more often, you know. It's your life and you decide how often you want to go visiting. But notice how you feel when you do go visiting and how refreshing it is to have that contact with another person, or to go to a place you've never been to before, or to have some favorite places that you like to go to every now and then, or to nurture certain relationships that bring you joy.